Okay, I think we can get started right now if that's okay with you, Luchi.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to iAscend's virtual university fair. Thank you for joining us today. We hope that you can get like a better understanding of the student and academic experiences at McGill. So please feel free to use your camera and mic. And if you'd like to ask any questions at any point of time or even use the chat function, and we'd like to give a warm welcome to our speaker, Aluchi. So first off, Aluchi, thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
Good.
Aluchi, could you introduce yourself? What year and program study are you in?
My name is Aluchi. I am in my second year of computer science at McGill University.
Great. So what courses are you actually required to take in your program?
A lot of math, a lot of programming courses. I think that's like the general. That's how I would generalize it. Um, Computer science is like recursion heavy, so that's like kind of mathematics that is a lot of proof. So you have to like prove a lot of things. And obviously, when you enter your first year at McGill, you have to take all the like calculuses and like
Mhm.
not that much science to be honest. So
Oh, really? Okay, that's cool.
yeah.
So could you tell us a little bit about what the application process was like? Were there like any supplementary applications or like interviews you had to complete?
So McGill is very different from I guess universities in Ontario. I guess it's in Quebec. It or just other universities in general where they really specifically only care about your academics. Like they only care about how you do in school, and they say on your website they're like, if you do not have this percentage, then do not apply.
Mhm.
So the application process was really straightforward. They got my grades, and I filled in like a bit about myself, and then wait, okay, I'll answer that after. I'll answer that after. But I said a little bit about myself, and they were like, "Oh, you have the grades. Congratulations, you got in." You didn't really have to do. You didn't have to like say that you were in any. I was in a lot of like. Well, I wasn't in a lot, but I was in like a significant amount of like extracurriculars, and they didn't really care about that or like sports or anything. They were just like, if you have the grades, you get in, and yeah, that was it.
So there's like a lot of emphasis on the grades, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Um,
I have some questions here. So someone asked, does taking courses in the summer affect my average when applying to McGill?
did you so taking grade 12 courses in the summer of grade 11 or yeah, okay. Well, I did take an English no, the answer is no. I did take English in the summer online in grade 11, grade 12 English just because I wanted to. And they treated it like as a regular English class. They said, okay, you did well in this English class, like that's fine. So the answer is no, it doesn't.
Yeah, most schools actually kind of weigh it the same, I believe.
Hmm. Hmm. I
And
did want to say that um, if you're taking IB, if you have AP credits, those count towards the credits that you have to take in McGill. So um, you can like potentially start at like U1, like you can potentially only take 3 years of like classes. If you do have AP or IB credits, you can potentially have 1 year knocked off of what you have to do.
right, because they act kind of like transfer credits, right?
Yeah.
hmm And someone asked, did they only require your transcript? So yes, I believe just the grades.
Transcript, they have like a little portion that's like, if did you do any sports, but it doesn't matter. That
Oh,
part
okay.
didn't matter. There's just like a little, did you do sports? Yes. And then like just in case they you wanted to like join a McGill sports team, I think.
hmm So if like everyone can start asking questions. This is kind of like the questionnaire period because now that we're done kind of that brief introduction. But if no one has any questions at the moment, I'll just ask a few if you don't mind. So why did you choose your program? So what kind of led you to your interest for computer
Computer
science?
science, yeah. Well, honestly, entering, I didn't really like have a program. I just entered like as a freshman and did like freshman courses. But I took a intro to programming course where I learned the language Python, and I thought it was really cool. And whenever you're like writing code and you don't know how to do something and it's like really frustrating, and then all of a sudden you get like a spark and you're like, oh, it's because I didn't put a semicolon or something, and then all of your code runs. That just like the rush of dopamine.
Very
I just really
satisfying.
like that. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
really satisfying.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so what courses are you like currently taking right now? I believe we asked this earlier, but maybe you can add on and just add on to like what type of courses were you taking in first year, maybe?
So okay, first year, McGill has a freshman program for everything that you apply for. First year, my freshman program was arts because I entered as arts, but I have to like change it. I changed it a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, as a freshman entering, you take calculus one, calculus two, I think like one or two science credits. But like I said before, if you did take if you do have IB or AP credits, or if you did a CJEP, which is in Quebec, you can do like outside of high school another like like college basically. You do not really have to take those credits. Um, yeah, there's just a lot of basic freshman courses that everyone has to take that I took as a freshman.
So
Right now, yeah,
yeah, I was just gonna say so that there is a program that helps transition students.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's basically what your first year is going to be. It's not a lot of specialized courses. It's big classes.
Mhm.
Should I say like what I'm taking right now?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I'm doing a minor in French, so I'm taking like some higher level French classes. I'm taking chemistry and then taking math 240, which is like recursive math, like discrete functions. I don't know if you've heard of that. And I'm taking a comp course that is about Unix.
So are you in a co-op program or are there any like co-op programs that are available at McGill for students?
I am not in a program, and I have not heard about co-op programs at McGill, but I don't know. I don't want to say yes or no if they exist or not. I just haven't heard of them.
Okay, that's fine. So what do you like most about your program?
Like I said before, I like coding. I think coding is really cool.
Hmm. And what are some tips or like tricks to like settling yourself up for university and like handling it in a strong and handing in a strong and outstanding application? Like, what was your approach, I guess?
Handing in a strong application before coming to like my application
Oh
process.
wait, there wasn't actually any extracurriculars. They didn't consider any extra,
Yeah,
so I guess this would not apply. Um,
work hard, study.
yes, that's it. So, what are some things that you are doing to keep yourself productive?
I am walking a lot. Like that's because to keep myself, yeah, I'm like walking a lot, like taking care of my mental health, which is really important. And I think students get a bit overwhelmed about their work, the amount of work that you have to do a lot of times. And like my thing is, if you just do 3 hours of work a day, you will be caught up. It's not like as much as you think. Like, but if you do like productive work every day, like a significant amount of productive work every day, you won't be behind on anything. I think right now, like especially with like how online classes are being set up, it's very easy to fall behind.
Right. I think it's very important to really use those breaks and make sure you're like really spending the time to focus on your work and really taking those breaks.
Mhm.
Just to transition to like online learning, how are you finding online school? Do your professors like have live lectures, office hours? How does that kind of work with McGill?
So it's kind of different depending on what you're taking. My French classes, they're very small, so you have to be online. You have to have a microphone. Uh, you have to go to classes. But obviously, the bigger ones, the like science and the comp ones, they have pre-recorded lectures, and then they're live lectures you go to, and they kind of go over the material that you already watched or read and took notes on. I think that's what a lot of professors are doing in McGill, at least. They're doing like pre-recorded, and then you go to live lecture if you have a question, which is honestly like pretty flexible.
Mm-hmm. And we have some questions here. Someone asked, could you tell us a bit about the GPA system at McGill?
Yes, I can. I'll Google GPA McGill. I've Googled it a lot because just because I have been worried.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you know if
so
it's similar to like other universities? Like, have you compared?
I haven't, but I think it's a bit. It's pretty similar. I know the GPA scale is once you're getting above 85, it's a 4.0, so you don't really have to. It's less percentage based. Like as long as you get above 85, you're getting a 4.0, and 4.0 is the highest. At least, yeah, like it's the highest thing that you can get for undergraduates. And then A minus 3.7, which is 80 to 84%. A B plus is a 3.3, which is a 75 to 79%. A B is a 3.0, which is a 70 to 74%. You can also take classes at McGill that are pass fail, which means that you still get credit for the course, but your what you get in the course is not applicable to your own GPA. So you get credits, but it doesn't affect your GPA anyway. So if you need to take a course as an elective, and you don't really care about what grade you get in it, you don't have just get like a 70 or like a 50 to 70 range, and it doesn't count towards your GPA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to compare with U of T, I think U of T is like if you get 90 and above, that's a 4.0, if I'm not wrong. Um, but of course, like every single university is very competitive, and like the GPA system, I don't think it really matters in terms of like what percentage. Like you shouldn't be like looking at the GPA scale and just really looking at like what can you do to improve your grades, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm. Someone asked, was what is it like living in Montreal? So maybe you can comment on any fun experiences you had in Montreal.
Montreal is really fun. You can come to Montreal and not speak any French and leave Montreal and not speak any French, and you will be completely fine. I have a lot of friends that just do not speak any French at all. And everyone in Montreal is bilingual, so of course they'll just be like, "Oh, bonjour, hello." I know people have been like apprehensive of coming to Quebec because they're scared they're gonna have to learn French, and that's not true. Like obviously you should because French is a nice language, but um, outside of that, like living in Montreal, I really like Montreal. They kind of have an aesthetic that's like city, but like old. Like it has a lot of history to it.
Right. Okay, so I guess, oh, someone else has a question. How are the professors at McGill?
I think that really just depends on how the professors
Yeah.
are. I have not. Well, I was gonna be like I haven't had like horrible experiences with profs. Some profs are good, some profs are bad. If you Here's a little trick: if you're like signing up for courses and you can see who your prof is for like that specific section, and you can go on Rate My Prof and check to see if they're
Yeah.
a good prof or not before you actually click to take the section.
Yeah, a lot of students do. That's really helpful and something to keep in mind. So like throughout your time at university, what are some like the most rewarding moments that you've had?
Like outside of the academic sense, I really, because I'm from like Markham and like that area, like moving away, I've kind of like grown independently and I've kind of like figured out what I like, what I don't like, who I am. I've made friends with a lot of new people. I've met a lot of like different characters. I would say push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone is always a good thing. Always do that. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah.
totally agree. That's some great advice and something to keep in mind. I think there aren't any questions at the moment. Maybe you can comment on any of your extracurricular activities.
I yeah. Wait, can I answer this question?
Oh, yeah.
Are there are there elective courses you recommend taking? I like okay, it's linked. So extracurricular course things that I do, like right now I've been interested in theater and like plays and the McGill English department like does annual like plays and stuff. And there's a lot of student led um things, a lot of I wanted to join like the African Students Association, Black Students Association, stuff like that. Um, and elective courses I would recommend taking are, drama, theater, history. There's there's one that you literally just watch movies the whole course.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a film course. You just watch movies and you just answer movies.
Did you take any like wait, you did take, so you basically kind of took a mix of like science,
In
art,
arts, yeah.
English.
Mhm.
What else am I missing? I think that kind of covers the general sense. Are there any other oh, we have another question. How does the application process differ from applying to Universities Ontario? So how is it different from if you were to apply for a university in Ontario?
Well, speaking from a student that was in Ontario and then moved to Quebec, uh, you definitely can't use. You can use the OSAP and stuff like that, but you cannot use the OUAC. I think you can't use that to apply. You have to actually go to their website and then like create like an application, create like all of that. Um, and you have to like yeah. Other than that, and you have to like pay on their website and everything. Other than that, it's kind of similar. You just answer the questions that they ask you. And
What type of questions did they ask you? Were there more like just personal based, or were there any kind of like comment on any like extra? So they didn't ask you to comment on.
yeah,
Okay, it's great.
I think it was just like what's your name? What school do you go to? Where do you live? Like administration stuff.
Okay, that's cool. I think we can just wait for a couple of more minutes for some other questions.
Yeah, I really like McGill, guys. I honestly, it is. I don't think it is like as competitive as U of T or like other universities, just because when I think it's competitive to get in, but then once you get in, you do have a lot of support and help. Um,
Yeah, I think there's that
fun.
kind of I guess stigma,
Mm-hmm.
like how once you get in, oh my God, like you're not gonna be able to handle all this pressure.
Exactly,
Stress.
exactly.
Like I
You
think
do have support. I don't. It's not like everyone. It's not like everyone is for themselves. There's a lot of support for like other, like they want you to succeed. They want to help you out. Even profs, like don't be afraid to email your prof. Don't be afraid to go to office hours. Like they want to help you. Most of them.
yeah, I totally agree. It's really important like reaching out to like the student services. And we have another question. So what's the class environment like in computer science? So maybe is it like more hands-on, like is it lecture based?
And I'm only in my second year, so right now it's very theoretical and lecture based. But and it's bigger classes. It's not very small classes. I think you have to like win maybe like fourth year it'll be smaller classes, but right now it's bigger. Um, and assignment wise, there is obviously like midterm and final, but we also have assignments that are like the assignments are cool. I think last year I got an assignment that's like convert everything to Braille. Like just they give you text files and then you are supposed to figure out how to like code each letter so that it becomes Braille or something. Most of the assignments are like that. They teach you like the coding, but it's very like there's different ways to do the same thing. So yeah, it is awesome.
That sounds very interesting. So you guys have tutorials, right? And
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah,
so
we have tutorials.
maybe you can
So
comment
yeah,
on, yeah.
so the tutorials, you do sign up for them. You kind of don't have to go to them; they're optional, but obviously you should go to them because they help you like immensely. Basically, there's a really big class, so to make sure that students get more help with what they need specifically, there are TAs and you're split into groups, and your TA kind of just explains what you learned in class. Like, oh, they kind of show you also with especially in computer science or programming, they show you like how to do stuff. They're like you have a question like how would I like implement a for loop, for example. They'll show you that.
So how are the TAs like at McGill? Like, are they very helpful? Do you have any like, I guess, bad TA? Like, or did you have any bad experiences with TAs, or like how are they?
I did have, I think in my calculus 2 class last year, my TA just was like did not was not helpful at all. Kind of just went to his tutorial and he scribbled down answers and then that's the end of the tutorial. So I not like that. But other than that, TAs are kind of like even if you don't go to tutorials, you can just email them and be like, help me please. Like
Mhm.
I TAs are cool like that.
Right. So just adding on, so you mentioned that that TA wasn't very helpful. What would you recommend students kind of like doing when when they're in that kind of situation? Like, who should they be? Um, are there any other services do you think that they should be reaching out to? Like,
Yes.
for example, in U of T, there's like facilitated study groups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in McGill, there's a Burnside Math Help Desk, which is basically, and right now it's online. So it's basically you go to the help desk, you ask them a question about like your math courses or whatever. There's also comp sci help desks, like stuff like that. Um, you can go to office hours. I always recommend office hours because professors are nice. You can email your professor. Um, you there are mm, you could just always just go to another tutorial. They don't really stop you
Mhm.
with another TA. There's a lot of things you can do.
Mhm. Someone asked, how do you manage your time during exam season?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not perfect. Uh,
I mean, no one is.
yeah,
Really.
my time, exam season is very stressful for me. I just like right now it's midterm season, so I just like kind of stay in my room and study. Make sure to take breaks, I would say, and don't try to do everything at once because it's not gonna like help you. Kind of what I do is I'm like, okay, I have like 5 units to cover before this exam, so I can do start like 1 unit and do like read through it and do all the practice questions, like etc. Kind of make sure you're spacing it out. Make sure you understand everything that you're reading. You know.
Making sure like you really schedule when you're going to like teach yourself the lesson,
Mm-hmm.
reteach yourself the units and practice and try out the practice questions. So
Exactly.
someone asked, how do you keep yourself from procrastinating?
So I heard this like psychologically procrastinating is less about you physically just not wanting to do something, and it's more about you being apprehensive to the task that you have to do. So I would say whenever you feel like you really, really don't want to do something, that's when you have to do it. Just force yourself to do it. Just turn everything off and just look at whatever you're doing and then do it.
But it is easier said than done.
Yeah, I know. This is why I'm like, I still have problems procrastinating too. Like, but whenever I'm like, I just really don't want to do this, I'm like, that means I kind of have to.
Mm-hmm. I think there are also some very helpful like apps out there that kind of force you to not like use your phone.
That
Uh,
tree app, what's the?
yeah, I think I don't use it personally, but I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone asked, what are your favorite slash most memorable experiences at McGill? But I think we asked that.
Yeah.
Are there any additional experiences that maybe you can comment on?
Uh, well, I like that McGill is in kind of a student city, so everyone here is a student, so it's just kind of like student life. Like you go to places and everyone's like really friendly, stuff like that. I really liked. I did a play. I did a play last year, and I liked performing that. That was really fun. Uh, Also like I don't know if I can say this. It's just like parties and stuff like that. Just the general ambiance, the atmosphere.
So I think those experiences, I guess, helped you transition
hmm They
more.
help me. Yeah, it like what I said before, stepping outside of your comfort zone, meeting new people, having new experiences.
So you mentioned that you were meeting new people, like you were able to meet new people. So I believe that a lot of students might find this kind of hard, especially even during COVID-19. Would you
Yeah.
have any like tips that you could provide, or I guess what would you recommend for students?
So McGill actually has like every semester something called an activities fair. This year was virtual, and I would recommend literally at first going to every or going to or signing up for everything that you find interesting, because obviously you can whittle it down like to things that you actually want to do later, but at first just anything that you find mildly interesting, just sign up for it, apply for it, go to the first meeting, see if you like it. um yeah. Yeah.
I think a great way to meet new friends is really signing up for like extracurriculars.
hmm
And I feel like a lot of people get stressed when they don't sign up for extracurriculars, not because of like the meeting new friends idea, but like just like adding on to your like resume or um so what would do you believe that it would be okay for I guess second year, third year students to I guess to start doing curriculars rather than starting in first year?
yeah, yeah, that's completely fine. Do you mean like in terms of internships or just in terms of meeting new people?
Well, I mean, like, just internships, extracurriculars, because I know that there are some students who haven't done any extracurriculars maybe in first year because maybe they were kind of focused on that transition, like more of the
Yeah,
academic transition, and I feel like a lot of students kind of miss that opportunity, um,
your
you
first
know,
year.
hmm
But
and then start stressing
the
out.
thing is, yeah, the thing is with university, nobody really bases you like based on what year you're in. So if you go into an activity, like into an extracurricular activity in third year and second year, you're not gonna be the only new face there. There's always gonna be new faces in every single different year. I don't think that you should be that stressed about starting extracurriculars too late, because there's really no such thing.
hmm Someone asked, I've always heard that people don't have time to socialize or anything at uni. And so what was your experience with that? Like I guess, how did you kind of manage like the social aspect of your experiences at McGill with the academic experiences?
Some people have um the same. I think if you are really struggling to, or if you think you're going to struggle to like maintain like relationships outside of courses, then you should create relationships inside of your courses, which basically means make friends that are in the same major as you, in the same classes as you, that you will be doing a lot of stuff together, like go to internship together, like do, yeah, like go to like tutorials together. Like that's what I think. If you think that you'll like just make friends that are in the same thing as you and have the same work schedule as you. And honestly, at McGill, it's not that hard because everyone kind of has that uh has a busy work schedule, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I feel like the best way to really meet new people is like through tutorials. That's where I met most of my friends. And the next question, I guess we can move on to the next question. What's your experience with extracurricular activities such as internships? So maybe have you done any
Not
internships?
done any internships. Um, yeah, I have not done internships, but yeah, I don't know anyone who's done internships either.
Yeah, I think it's pretty like,
It's
I
pretty.
guess early.
It's a later year thing. I don't think you have to
Yeah.
worry about it that much
Mhm.
until, yeah, till later.
Someone asked, is it easy to make friends through your classes? Because I heard sometimes classes are too big to do that.
Yeah, classes are big, but there's also, you know, tutorials, labs. Um, especially with big classes, they have smaller sections and stuff like that. I I think it wasn't that, I don't know, it wasn't that bad for me because I didn't have to like make friends like online because last year, you know, COVID didn't happen. But I think that you should, you know, go to tutorials, like have your camera on, talk to the prof, like talk to your other students. I think that's the way you should really
Mhm.
like that'd be an easy way to, you know, make friends.
Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult now that most of the learning's kind of done online. But you can definitely make new friends in large classes. So like don't just make sure that you're kind of making that, I guess, first step or like
Yeah,
you're like putting in the effort
put
because
yourself out there.
yeah, you can't just expect people to, I
Come
guess,
up to you. You
yeah.
have to you have to be annoying. McGill, well, not McGill, but like if you go on to like Facebook and stuff, for your university, there's always class group chats. You
Mhm.
have to be annoying and like DM people like, oh, you're in the same class as me. You
Yeah,
know.
I think Facebook group chats are also a great way to like find out not only find out new friends, but also just like find out any extracurriculars that might like interest you. Maybe there's like an opportunity that a
Hmm.
job would post that maybe you're interested in.
They're also helpful for if you are struggling with the course and you need people to study with, or if you just have like a question you have to ask about one piece of the material.
Mhm.
Okay.
Are you planning to do maybe any internships in the future? Like where
uh
you know exactly what kind of um like what you want to do in I guess the next 2 to 3 years, depending on when your program ends.
just I don't think I have friends that want to return and do grad school or law school, but I think that I want to stop school maybe a little for a little while and like actually maybe with comp sci it's kind of, I really like how flexible jobs are in this field just because you can literally be a freelancer and just be like, I will code for you. I'll code like a website for you and you can just offer your services like that. You can also join startups, um, stuff like that. I think I'm more into like the startup route because
Mhm.
I, yeah, I think it's like a nice environment.
Yeah, for sure. Um, are there any, I guess, interdisciplinary jobs, I guess, if that makes sense? Like, are there any jobs where you might need comp sci but also need another program of study maybe that might help you, if that makes sense?
Yeah, one of my friends, she is doing bioeng, which is a lot harder than my program, but she is doing a minor in comp because a lot of stuff is that it's kind of like you, for example, if you have like a mechanical leg or something, you have to code with that. So there's like a scientific part of like comp sci or of programming where you have to kind of know how the human body works to code things that are similar to how the human body works.
That sounds
Example.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We have about 20 to 15 more minutes. Oh, someone asked, is it easy to make friends through your classes? Because, oh,
No,
someone,
we answered that.
oh, what are your opinions on taking a gap year before going to uni? Also, can you take gap years in between uni?
I think so. You can defer your program. Um, taking a gap year before going to uni. I think that if you feel the need, if you think you'll like do better in uni if you take a gap year, then yeah, you should take a gap year.
Yeah, it really depends on the person and kind of
Mm-hmm.
what your needs are.
Mm-hmm.
And can you take gap years in between uni?
I think so. You can definitely defer your program. Uh, yeah, I
I,
think so.
yeah,
Do you know, Shay?
I was just gonna say, I think it's more for like if
If you
you
had an emergency.
yeah, and also if you notice that you're not doing as well in school, then maybe that's like the best opportunity for you to take that gap year and kind of like recollect. And then, I've heard a lot of students do that and it really helps. So you mentioned that you want to go into startups, right?
Yeah,
So is there like maybe like I guess what led you to this interest?
I kind of just like its atmosphere more than maybe a traditional like job that you would get from computer science. I just think that
Like, what about that like atmosphere
the
make?
atmosphere it's younger people, it's more relaxed, it's less formal, I
Mhm.
think.
So other
And
than
less and like less traditional also.
right, so other than freelancing and so are there like I guess other pathways maybe? Like you mentioned that it was like that taking computer science is very flexible.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess maybe can you add on to that?
uh the like we said, there's a scientific route. There's there's also like traditional jobs like IT, uh, stuff like that, software engineering. Oh, like video games and stuff. Uh, freelancing also, if you're like really good, you can go work for Google in
Right.
California or something. Mm-hmm.
What about do you have any tips and strategies for networking maybe? Like how have you tried connecting to other people in your job industry or yeah, just any tips in general do you have?
For networking, it's not well. I haven't really like started networking or anything like that on purpose yet, but I would say be friends with your professors and your TAs. Uh, that will get you far. That will get you jobs and internships and stuff like that. Just knowing a prof, and obviously, I'm not saying like first year go and talk to your professor, but like this is kind of like a later on kind of thing. At least have like a few like if you want to go to grad school or something, be friends with professors and TAs because that helps with networking. Also, uh, Canadian sororities and fraternities, they are. I'm not in one, but like they're kind of good for networking and job opportunities.
Hmm. Yeah, just adding on, like if you go into office hours and really speak to your professor about maybe like, for example, if you're going into like research, maybe if you're, well, this might not apply, of course, to computer science, but if, for example, if you're going to research and then maybe you can comment on the professor's research, and that really helps you kind of create that connection, and maybe they'll recommend you to other projects or other internships you
Yeah,
can do.
exactly.
Does anyone have any other questions? Okay. Oh,
I
someone.
didn't even know we had sororities and stuff again. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like it's very different though. It's kind of like it's more like on the, oh, I have friends and also, internship and networking opportunities. It's less, it's very different from like American like sororities and frats and stuff.
Mhm. Do you have any like, I guess, particular experiences from a sorority?
I'm not really in one. I've been to
Okay.
last year I went to a frat party for Halloween and Valentine's Day.
Mhm.
They weren't that fun.
So overall, it's just a great way to make new friends.
Hmm. Oh yeah, exactly. You kind of like, if you join one, you're kind of like already have friends.
Right. Someone asked, is there a specific way to join a sorority and stuff?
Uh, I'm gonna like talk about the vague information that I have from the friends that I have that are in sororities and frats, but I think you go and you like rush or something, and then you meet them, and then you do a bunch of interviews with them, and then they choose if they like you or not for you to join.
Yeah, I don't know too much about
Yeah.
sororities. Is someone asked, is French or English mandatory in McGill?
French or English? Like, do you have to speak either French or English? Well,
Oh,
okay.
you meant and. You mean
Oh,
and?
oh no, 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 no. McGill is English university, so classes are taught in English unless you're taking a French class. But you have the right, like in any other Canadian university, to hand in assignments in French or English because they're both national languages.
Mm-hmm. So are there any specific programs? So does that kind of apply to all programs at McGill? Or are there
Uh,
any specific programs where it's aside from French?
yeah, no. Programs are taught in English.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about maybe computer science and about Aluchi's program of study? If not, I guess we can try to wrap this up. I'll just give a few more seconds. Does anyone have any questions? You can also use your mic. Okay, I guess we can wrap this up. Thank you, first of all, for everyone who joined us for Uni-Sphere today. I hope like everyone kind of got a better understanding of the student experiences at McGill. And of course, a big thank you to Aluchi for answering the questions we had today. Students also, if you're interested in learning about the programs and university that really best fits your needs, be sure to check out the University Insights page on iAscend's website. Here you'll find like hundreds of very, very useful blog submissions from university students who really talk about kind of like the pros and cons of their university and program. And honestly, I wish I had this resource when I was applying to university. I didn't know about this. And I think I can post a link to that page, so you guys can check that out. Be sure to follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And I guess that'll be it for today. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.